Hi guys, and welcome back to the Flourishing Home Vlog. My name's Amanda and this is Maggie, and this week I'm very excited to be sharing with you guys Maggie's 4-month update. If you're new here, I have not done one of these before, so you didn't miss anything. This is the first time I'm doing a monthly update for Mags, and I feel like so much has happened in the last 4 months since she was born. Especially in the last couple of weeks, she's really started to find her voice, find her hands. She's been able to start grabbing things and laughing and smiling, and she's just become so interactive. And it's just been so much fun just to play with her and hang out with her. But as far as her growth goes, she just had her 4-month appointment a couple days ago, and she is currently 15 pounds 7 ounces, and I believe she is in the 75th percentile for her weight, and she's 25.5 inches tall, and that puts her in the 89th percentile for height. So she's growing like crazy, which is awesome. But I do want to move on to the first topic, which is going to be feeding. So Maggie is exclusively breastfed. I'm so grateful and thankful that we've been able to breastfeed. She does take a bottle occasionally if I have to go to work, which is only once a week right now. So she takes her bottle when she has to. But then when I get home, she usually, you'd think she'd want to like nurse and reconnect, but it kind of takes like a day to get reset, which is totally fine. She's nursing about every 2.5 to 3 hours maximum now. And honestly, it kind of depends on the day. She switches on and off with how soon, which I just try to follow her cues on if she's hungry or not. She's pretty good nurser. She has been getting very distracted lately, which I think is part of her becoming more aware of her surroundings and things like that. So it's a little bit more challenging to get her to focus, and that's frustrating for me because she's usually pretty fast, like 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're done. So if it's taking a while, I'm like, okay, don't you want to nurse? Like, what are you doing, bud? But it's teaching me that I really need to have more of a quiet atmosphere, dim the lights if I have to. Sometimes I like put a blanket over her when we're home just to like help limit distraction. For the most part, she's pretty good about it. Like I said, she's gaining weight, so that's good. Definitely not going to be introducing solids anytime soon, not until she's able to sit up on her own and be very strong and hold her core tight, and I'll start introducing some food then probably. But for now, she's just exclusively breastfed and she's getting all her nutrition that way. Oh, and I did want to mention every Thursday I have a Zoom call with our hospital. It's actually a new mom support group / breastfeeding support group. And I've been doing that since Maggie was born. And it used to be that they met in person, but we just meet over Zoom since the pandemic. And it has helped me so much. I get to talk to the lactation consultant every week or email her if I have any questions. And when Maggie was first born, we had a lot of trouble, like a lot of people do. So I had to go back to the hospital a couple times and get some help with her latch and, you know, just asking different questions. And my breastfeeding journey in the beginning was actually super hard. So I just want to mention that too, like just because it's something naturally occurring doesn't mean that it comes naturally. And I think we need to normalize that and just kind of talk about how difficult it is and how painful it can be if you're not getting a proper latch or you're not sure what's going on. So please, if you're a new mom and you're pregnant and you want to breastfeed, make sure you have help in place in advance because so much can go downhill very fast. I definitely almost quit about a week in because it was just so painful and it was not going well. So thankfully I had the support of a lactation consultant and I still talk to her regularly. So I'm very grateful to have that person in my life that can help me with my breastfeeding journey. If you are thinking about breastfeeding, please get the support that you need in advance because when you're in the thick of it, it's really hard to seek that help out if you don't already know about the resources that are available to you. All right, the next subject that I want to talk about is sleep. We have been able to implement a bedtime routine, and we started doing that, a while back, honestly. Probably like at the 2-month mark, where we give her a bath and then go into our bedroom, pajamas, diaper, sleep sack, nurse, and then she usually falls asleep. Sometimes she needs a little extra help like the pacifier and all that in her crib, but she usually goes to bed around 8 o'clock. She was waking up only twice a night for a few weeks there. Around 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. she would nurse for a couple minutes and then immediately go back to sleep. And then kind of wake up between like 6:30, 7:30 a.m. She has a really stuffy nose overnight, even though we've tried doing the humidifier, air purifier, all that stuff. It's still, she wakes up super stuffy. So that was fine with me 2 times a night. The past few nights, since she's become 4 months, she has had a very difficult time overnight. And last night was probably one of the worst nights we've ever had. I'm not gonna lie. She woke up so many times. I don't know how this month's gonna go. If you've heard of 4 months sleep regression, I've heard all about it. So I think that she might be kind of going into that route, or maybe if she's about to hit some milestones with her motor skills, I think that also could be affecting her sleep. But overall, the past few nights have not been predictable whatsoever, and it's just been a lot of waking up, a lot of fussing, a lot of crying. So that's kind of gotten me a little bit tired, a little bit burnt out already, but hopefully we can kind of figure out the situation, what's going on. And then during the day, her naps, if you watched my day in the life a couple weeks ago, I talked about introducing naps in the crib, and that feels like so long ago now because since then she's been taking almost all of her naps in the crib, and I do still hold her occasionally, or she'll take half of her nap in the crib, wake up, I'll feed her, and then she'll fall back to sleep for another 45 minutes of me holding her. So it's a little bit inconsistent. She's taking about 4 to 5 naps a day. At least 2 of them are in the crib, depends on if we're out and about or not. Her naps last anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half, so it's a little bit inconsistent still. I feel like there's not much I can do because I go by her wake windows. When she wakes up, we feed, we play. When she starts getting drowsy, I put her down, and it's up to her how long she wants to sleep, so I'm not stressing too much about like she needs to sleep for this amount of time. And I do track all of her sleep, eating, and diapers on this app called Baby Plus, which I highly recommend. It's a beautifully laid out app. So I track everything on there, and it shows me that on average she's sleeping about 14 hours a day, and that is what is recommended. However she gets it, I'm happy. Okay, the last subject I want to talk about with Maggie, which is the most fun, is playtime and motor skills and things like that. Like I mentioned at the beginning, Maggie has started to laugh, smile, grab at toys, hold toys, put toys in her mouth. I was thinking she was teething for a couple days there at the beginning of her 4 months. I'm realizing now that developmentally she just likes to put things in her mouth because that's how she learns. It's not really about teething yet. It's probably too early for teething, but I was convinced by how much drool and how much she was putting things in her mouth that she was going to start teething. I think it's just part of her developmental stage that she's in right now. She is loving holding on to things, which I'll insert some clips of, just some playtime that we've had. But she loves to hold on to her rings and put them in her mouth. She loves to look in the mirror and laugh at herself, even though I don't know if she knows it's her or a different baby. But she loves to laugh in the mirror, and Paul and her always play find the baby, and he goes and takes her to all the mirrors in the house, and they go on a little baby hunt. For the most part, she does a lot of floor time. I'm not the best at making her do tummy time, and I know it's totally like I have to make her do tummy time. We do tummy time every day. It's just not probably as much as she should be getting. So she's not completely rolling yet. I do take her through the motions of rolling. She's definitely holding her head up now. And especially just when I'm holding her, like you can see she's quite stable, and she loves to bear weight on her legs. She's always pushing up on her legs. As far as rolling, this morning actually, I put her up on her tummy and she was up on her arms, and she kind of started to do a roll immediately, and I'll insert that clip. But I know she's gonna roll when she's ready, and she's starting to really work on her back muscles and holding her head up high. Milestones are definitely arranged, so I'm not concerned that she hasn't rolled yet. And also I don't want to rush her. As everyone says, like time goes so fast with the babies, so I don't want to rush her like to the next milestone all the time, because then next thing you know she's going to be a big girl and I'll be super sad. So I'm not trying to rush her into any milestones, just making sure she has the opportunity to practice them and get them herself. She also loves to talk and babble and have conversations, and she's good at letting me know when she doesn't want something anymore. She will screech and kind of whine and let you know that she's done. If she's done with the toy or she's done with being on tummy time, you know, she'll communicate what she's interested in. So as far as toys go, I try to swap out her toys once a day. We'll start with a set of toys, and she doesn't have a ton. We mostly have wooden toys, which I really appreciate my mother-in-law and my mom sending me all the nice wooden toys that we like a lot. We love Banner Toys. It's a toy company that makes wooden toys. And then we also love Melissa and Doug and Manhattan Toy Company. And of course she has some plastic toys as well that make noise. But for the most part we have a lot of wooden toys. And I just think they're so nice looking. And she has some different teethers. We love the Itsy Ritsy brand. This is a coffee cup, of course. And we do have Sophie the giraffe as well, which she's been loving, but we accidentally left it at our friend's house on Father's Day. So Sophie is temporarily not with us, but she was loving Sophie the few days before we left her at our friend's house. Once we get her back, I'm sure she'll be super into Sophie. And of course, we just read a lot of books as well. She loves the touch and feel style books, like the very simple baby books that have like bunnies and stuff with fur to touch and different textures. She really likes that. I do try to read her books too, just so she develops an interest in books, even if she doesn't comprehend the stories yet. But we also do the very simple ones as well. So we kind of have a good mixture. I really love books, as you can probably tell. Books are important to me. Yeah, that's pretty much it for playtime. She's just super fun, and I try to pay attention, like I said, to her wake windows. I don't like overdo it. I kind of let her do her thing. I'll interject if I need to, like play with her or swap out her toy if she wants a different one. You know, we sing a lot of songs together or just make faces at each other. She practices her spit bubbles and all those other silly things. And I try to just be super animated with her, and sometimes we dance around the kitchen and just try to have fun. And then when she's taking her nap is when I have my chill time or read a book, catch up online, clean, whatever I need to do. But when she's awake, I do try to pay attention to her as much as I can. And it's really fun. I think we've developed a good relationship so far. Right, buddy? She said I like my hands. Would you like one of these? Yeah. Okay, I just put Maggie down for her nap, but really quick, I just wanted to share my postpartum experience so far. So I'm no longer in the 4th trimester technically, and I think looking back on like some of the earlier days, I thought I was completely fine, but knowing how I feel now compared to then, I was not really fine in those early days, and I definitely overdid it. But now, 4 months later, I'm feeling so much better. There's a few things I've noticed that have been bothering me, like my acne has returned. I had pretty good skin when I was pregnant. It was like pre-puberty skin. I was so grateful. And now my hormonal acne is back, and with a vengeance, I feel. I've also noticed I've been losing a lot of hair, which I know is normal, but it's still hard to experience it. When you're actually going through it, you're like, what is happening? Every time I brush my hair, it's just like clumps of hair come out. And I'm sure you've noticed like getting a little thin in my hair here, which is just, it's hard for me to get used to. I know it's normal, so I'm not freaking out about it. It's just something I don't really want to go through. Also, a huge thing I wanted to quickly mention is I've been going to pelvic floor physical therapy, and this is something I never even heard of until I was pregnant, and I heard about it on some podcasts. And when I went to my 6-week postpartum appointment, my doctor actually asked if I wanted to go, and I didn't think I needed it. I was like, I think I'm okay. But since I had heard about it, I was like, but give me the referral just in case. I'll call and like go have my first appointment, see where I'm at. And so I'm really glad I did, because I'm actually in worse shape than I thought. I just feel like if you have access or a potential referral to the pelvic floor physical therapist, whether you've had a baby recently or a while ago, or you've never had a baby and you feel like you're having trouble, and those are things with trouble like pain with intercourse, bladder incontinence, painful bowel movements, like things like that, like anything to do with the muscles down there, you can get help for it. And I just really want to insert a quick story. My doctor said she had been working with a patient, her oldest patient, who was 90. And this person had been wetting the bed every single night and wearing adult diapers. And my doctor was able to work with her and help her to stop wetting the bed, and she does not need to wear diapers anymore at 90 years old. So it's never too late to get help if you're struggling. So basically just the idea that like, just because you had a baby does not mean it's normal for you to pee yourself when you sneeze. Like there are ways to fix it if you work with a professional and go to your physical therapy appointment. So I've been going to that. I think I've had like 6 sessions now, and it's helping so much just with all the pain. And I feel a lot better now. It's actually having quite a lot of pain, more than I realized I was having, like I said. And I also had a little bit of ab separation, which we're working on just from being pregnant. So it has kind of limited my physical activity. So I haven't really started working out again or anything, although I am starting to feel like I want to start exercising again. Like I have that motivation and that energy back, which I did not have before. So I'm kind of like, yeah, let's start working out again. Like, let's get active. I just really miss that feeling. So I think I'm going to talk to my doctor and ask her if it's okay to resume some light physical exercises. And I'll insert the Instagram account that I follow that really kind of explains things if you're new or you don't know anything about pelvic floor physical therapy, and you can just follow her and learn a whole bunch of stuff and then decide if you want to ask for a referral from your doctor. The only other things I'll mention for me for postpartum is I don't believe that I'm dealing with any postpartum depression. However, I feel like I have a heightened sense of anxiety I mean, I've always dealt with anxiety. I think now it's kind of manifesting in different ways, and also nightmares again. I had a lot of very vivid dreams and nightmares when I was pregnant, and again, something I've always dealt with, unfortunately, but they were on a whole nother level when I was pregnant, and it kind of went away, and now it's back. So having just extremely vivid dreams and nightmares, which really sucks, especially when I'm already getting not as much sleep as I used to. It's kind of a recipe for not a great night, but it's nothing I can really do about the nightmares, except maybe go back to therapy, which is something I want to do anyway. So those are the main things that I can think of with postpartum stuff. Overall, feeling pretty good. Okay, another segment I thought would be fun is to tell you what I'm currently reading as far as parenthood books go. And number one, and my sister-in-law just sent me, is the Baby-Led Weaning, the Essential Guide. And since Maggie's going to be thinking about starting solids around 6 months, I wanted to jumpstart my research so that I wasn't going into the solids phase blind. So if you're interested in baby-led weaning and what it is, I feel like this name gets thrown around a lot, but really it's just introducing complementary solids when they're ready, and skipping spoon feeding. You give them food to practice with and to hold and to touch and to practice chewing and all that different stuff. So they just kind of play with it and learn how to eat as like something fun and something new and interesting, not for their primary nutrition. So she's still gonna get all her nutrition from breastfeeding, and then she will slowly, over many months, learn how to eat regular foods. And then she will let me know when she's ready to stop breastfeeding by how much she's consuming through solids. So I've only read the first chapter, as a long chapter, but introducing this book, and it was very good, very interesting, and something I definitely want to keep researching, and this is probably the route that I'll go. And then I'm continuing to read What to Expect the First Year. This book is nice because you can just read one chapter a month, because you just kind of like read the chapter for the month that you're in, and then there's a lot of introductory stuff that I already read a while back. So I feel like this is a pretty standard option for all parents. Just kind of give you a brief overview of what to expect. Gives you a ton of different blurbs about things that are going on in your 4-month or whatever month your baby's in. So this is a pretty standard recommendation for all parents just to have and peruse at your leisure. And then since I am breastfeeding, I've been reading this. I read this when I was pregnant. I started it, and again, same thing, I'm just following along with what month we're in or what section of time. So now I'm like, I finished the 4 to 6 month chapter, and then I won't read it again until she's 6 months. And this just talks a lot about breastfeeding and like what to expect, problem solving, all kinds of stuff with that. So it's a nice resource to have if you're breastfeeding. And then I have not started reading this book yet, but I am going to, and this just talks about Montessori style play, Montessori style learning. So I have not started this yet, but I plan to soon. So the main one I'm reading right now, like cover to cover, is going to be the Baby-Led Weaning book. And then the very last section I want to talk about, and this is because I value social media so much. I love it. I've learned so much through podcasts and Instagram handles while I was pregnant, and then now that I'm a parent, I follow a few different ones, and the top 3 for this month that I recommend is going to be Milestones in Motherhood. Put her handle here. She is, I believe, a children's occupational therapist or something similar. I can look that up, but she just talks about all kinds of different milestones that the babies and young kids need to be hitting as far as like gross motor skills, things like that. So she talks in her stories almost every day on her Instagram stories and just shares all kinds of great knowledge. Through all these Instagram accounts, I get a little mini education every day from the person talking on their Instagram stories and sharing resources. So Milestones in Motherhood is my top. I also am loving Safe in the Seat, which is all about car seat and car safety. I've learned so much that I had no clue about until I started following her Instagram, and she's totally convinced me on some different practices that I plan to do with Maggie, like just keeping her rear facing for as long as possible, things like that. And like she encouraged me to read the car seat manual and just like learn about car seat and car safety, things that I had no clue about before becoming a mom, things that I really care about now. And then lastly is Taking Care of Babies. I do not necessarily follow or pay for her program for sleep, but she posts a lot of good information on her stories every day about sleep habits and like what's normal, things you can try for struggling with your baby's sleep. So definitely recommend Taking Care of Babies as well, as far as just kind of getting as much from her as you want. You can also pay for her course. And then there's some other Instagram accounts that I love if you're pregnant right now. Mommy Labor Nurse is like the number one for her podcast and for her Instagram handle as well. I learned so much from Mommy Labor Nurse while I was pregnant. It helped me, I believe, have such a pleasant birthing experience because I was so knowledgeable because of what I learned from Mommy Labor Nurse. That's my number one if you're pregnant right now, but she does do some stuff for postpartum, but she's heavily focused on labor and delivery and your pregnancy. Those are my top motherhood, parenthood, let's say parenthood Instagram accounts. If you have any more questions about that, I have a myriad of suggestions if you're interested. Love to get chatting with you about that. Overall, thank you so much for tuning into this Maggie update and an Amanda update as well. I really appreciate you guys watching. I know this is mostly for me and for my family, but I really appreciate you being here and for taking the time to watch this video. I will see you guys in the next one, and again, thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye!